What we as land trusts do is private land conservation. And typically, what that means is doing a conservation easement with a private landowner.
Yeah, so we talk about conservation values being wildlife habitat, scenic open space. So, this ranch or property can be seen from a public place, and the scenic beauty really appreciated, and agricultural productivity. So, we're trying to protect those things on private property against uses that are inconsistent. So, like ranching.
To date, we have preserved roughly 6,000 acres, and that has been through both conservation easements, which requires us working very closely with private landowners to conserve their land, as well as acquisition, so buying land fee simple.
What happens is a landowner will call the office or simply walk in, and they want to donate a conservation easement, and they may want to do that for financial benefit. They may want to do it because they are getting older and they're passing their land on to their five children, and they don't want their children to subdivide and sell, or they might just be true conservationists.
The Crested Butte Land Trust was founded in 1991, which does make it still a fairly new land trust. It was first started in response to the need for protecting the Slate River wetlands. The first project that was ever done, we call it the Confluence Parcel, and it is just outside of town where the Slate River and Coal Creek come together. And the Land Trust worked with different partners to conserve a large tract of land in that area, and that then initiated a much larger effort to conserve several hundreds of acres throughout the Slate River Valley. To date, I think we have about 1,000 acres, roughly, plus or minus, preserved throughout the Slate River Valley, which really serves as the backdrop of Crested Butte. So definitely a unique area that deserves protection.
And we began in the 1990s out of a water conversation going on here in the San Luis Valley. There was a big push to export some water outside the San Luis Valley by a group called AWDI, American Water Development Inc. And the folks in the valley, kind of the first one was Kathy McNeil, was looking for ways to protect water in the San Luis Valley, and she started learning more about this conservation easement tool and how you can tie water rights to the land through a conservation easement. So there's 6 counties here in the San Luis Valley. It's the Rio Grande watershed. We serve all 6 counties, but we have a special initiative called the Rio Grande Initiative to protect land and water along the Rio Grande and its tributaries.
So the Crested Butte Land Trust is fairly small in size. We have 5 staff members. Most of them are full-time. One is part-time. We have our executive director. We have an outreach coordinator, a development coordinator, a stewardship director, and a stewardship coordinator, which is my position.
Working for a small nonprofit is not easy. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, actually. And in a typical day, I'm writing a grant, and then I'm driving out to Kremling, Western Grand County, and conducting a site visit with a rancher whose irrigation ditch just broke. And then I usually end my day taking minutes at a committee meeting. And I guess my advice to you is that if you are passionate about a nonprofit's mission, go out there and work for them and work for free and do whatever you can to get your foot in the door, because you can have a huge, huge impact by being passionate and working hard for a nonprofit.